Yo, what is up, YouTube? It's your boy Brandini, giving you guys another comic book review. First up, we have Justice League number 54. I loved it because it was the return of Starfire and Cyborg. And in this comic book, we have the death metal gang, who are going to try to defeat Perpetua. Perpetua is this big entity that wants to consume all universes and, consume all multiverses and have the dark multiverse reign supreme. And I fucking love it! Why? Lex Luthor, Nightwing, Detective Chimp, Cyborg, Starfire, and Hawkgirl. And I love it. I love it because this is technically an aftermath of the Justice League Odyssey book that just got canceled today. Yeah, thanks for ruining my version of the Justice League. The ones that I was loving and just reading. Why did you do this, DC? Why? It would have made a lot more sense if you had Justice League 54 come out on the same week as Justice League Odyssey. You guys missed your chance to make it, to make everything seem clear. You missed your chance, DC. You missed your chance. But in the ending of the story, they went to the Valley of Starro. And Starro is a giant alien starfish that would consider conquering the entire Earth. Because Starro has telepathic powers. That's it. And it ends on a cliffhanger, which I am happy to see. And I will give Justice League number 54 an 8 out of 10. It was okay, but it had its moments where it was like, why did Starfire and Cyborg just appear when they were in space? But then this week's comics came out and it just makes more frickin' sense. The only thing I wish DC could have done is just release that comic book and Justice League Odyssey on the same week. Would have made much more sense. Deceased Dead Planet, issue number 4 out of 7. Did I like it? Yes, I did. Did I love it? You bet I did. Why? Darkseid comes back with the unliving antivirus known as the anti-life equation running through his veins. And I loved it. I loved every bit of it. And the moments with Highfather and Scott Free, oh my God, those moments right there. So that Scott Free, he did that so that Scott Free would know who he's fighting for. And he's fighting for his kid, his son. Oh my God, it just hits me. Seriously. But yeah, I loved it. I loved every single minute of that comic book. And I cannot wait for the next 3 issues that are coming out, well, in the next 3 months. And I'm just so happy and so excited. Oh, God, I can't help it. 10 out of 10. American Vampire #1 for 1976. Did I love it? You bet I did. Did I wish that did I wish I have read all the previous parts to it? Yeah, I do. I wish I did, but you know what? This comic book doesn't really have a lot of continuity in it, and decades and decades and decades of continuity built up to it. It's just a standing point, and I fucking love it. Why? Because you don't need to read decades and decades and decades and decades of continuity. It's just there. It has the characters. It's moving on to a different direction. That's what I love. That's what I'm loving. This is a good example of a good comic book that people can jump right onto. And I fucking love this just for that. And I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. Scott Snyder, you really impressed me with it. Let's see if you can impress me some more with future comic books. Far Sector #8. I loved it very much. Why? Actually, no, I did not like it very much. That was a joke. I didn't like it at all very much because it just felt kind of repetitive, in my personal opinion. There's no Green Lantern enemies. It's just the Green Lantern and some rebellion against emotions, and I cannot take it anymore. Seriously. Seriously. I couldn't take it anymore. Like, oh my freaking God. There's no Green Lantern enemies. None. Zero. It's just... it's complete nonsense. If I would have told you guys about the whole comic book, you guys would have already gotten lost. It's that pathetic. Like, seriously. And the fact that she does not know her own Green Lantern oath when she needs to charge her batteries. She should know her origins. She should know the Green Lantern oath. Why? Because Guy Gardner and everyone else is hinted at this entire comic book for Far Sector, and she acts like she does not know what the frickin' oath is. And in the end, her power ring was at like 1%. Like towards the beginning of the end, it was at 1%. You know what Green Lanterns would do with rings that are 1%? They would charge their frickin' rings and say the power oath. That's what they would have done with this person, whatever her name is. Seriously, I don't care what her name is. It's just to the point where it's being frickin' repetitive. She does not know her own origin, her own oath. Oh, and it's Sojourner Mullen or something. Yeah. Not really liking it, and I'm hoping that it ends on issue 12. Because I'm not liking this comic book at all. Like, I've gotten some from that issue, from that comic book series. I don't care for it. Because all she's doing is fighting against a rebellion that wants to negate emotions altogether. All because of some murder mystery or some bull crap. If I already told you guys, I already said this, if I told you guys the entire 8-issue story from start to finish, you guys would have already gotten lost. And I'm not going to do that because you guys would have already gotten lost. So for that, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Legend of the Swamp Thing. No, this is the Halloween special. Last week, it came out last week, and I'm doing it for this week. Was better than Far Sector. Like, everything about it. From start to finish, it had one cohesive story, which was Swamp Thing saving this kid from drowning. And it's not typical drowning, it's just, it's sort of like a horror-esque, thing. But yeah, technically he saves the kid from drowning. And then the kid grows up into an adult and basically dies on the same spot where he technically drowned as a kid. That's way better than Far Sector. You hear me, DC? Way better than Far Sector. And Far Sector's only in 8 issue. It's only in for like 8 issues right now. You need to do better there, DC. Your Swamp Thing comic book Halloween, that's a good story. Right there. 8 out of 10. Young Justice, number 19. Did I like it? Of course not! It fucking sucked, and I'm so happy that it's gonna end on issue 20. It fucking sucked! Seriously! Ugh. It all starts with Wonder Girl. Wonder Woman's sidekick. As if she doesn't have that many. Yeah, that's how many sidekicks she's had for Wonder Girl. 2. And in the end of that comic book issue, she defeats Poseidon using, feminism. Yeah. She defeats Poseidon using feminist powers, or, feminist, you know what I mean? Like, women power, feminist power. And then she basically tells Zeus to F himself. Yeah! Great job, Bendis! There we go. That's how I really feel about that comic book issue. I hated it. I will give it a 3 out of 10. Because it sucked. And I'm happy that this issue is going to conclude with issue 20. Yes! Thank God! I hope that with Bendis leaving, I hope he does the same thing with Legion of Superheroes, because that sucks too, Bendis! It sucks! You're not a great writer there, Bendis. Please go to Marvel. They might want you more. I don't know. You're just not a good writer for any of the Superman, Young Justice, Action Comics, Wonder Comics. You're just not a good writer there, Bendis. You're just not a good writer. I like writing, I like writers that get to the point. Where it's like, this is the beginning of the paragraph, this is the ending of the paragraph. It sums it up in that one bubble. But Bendis does it in 5 freaking bubbles! Because he thinks his audience is stupid! That they can't understand what the people are saying! This is why I wonder what his sanity is with Bendis. I wonder if he's sane when he writes all of this gobbledygook into one comic book. I ask myself sometimes, I wonder if he's just sane or insane, because he sounds like he's insane by by pointing out that there's 5 frickin' bubbles in one paragraph! In one paragraph picture segment, there's 5 fricking bubbles! You see what I'm saying, DC? He's not a good writer. Get him off a Legion of Superheroes pronto, before he wrecks it up again. There, my rant about Bendis is over. And now I got some back issues too. Batman The Adventure Continues, numbers 1 to 4. I freaking love it! Why? Batman the Animated Series. It's basically based on the new Batman Adventures and Batman the Animated Series. Basically continues that whole plot thread, and I love it. Like, seriousness aside, I love it. And for each of those 4 comic books, 10 out of 10. Amethyst, number 2. This is the Wonder Comics of Amethyst. How do I like her? I don't. There, I said it. I don't like her. She's basically being written up as the as like this 2010s version of a teenage girl. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Like, oh my God, I don't like those types of girls. I don't like it when he said that. Yeah, those types of girls right there. Those types of women, I should say. That's what Amethyst is being drawn up as. Written as, and I hate it. As a rational thinking person, I hate it. The story was okay, but that's it. The artwork was fantastic, but the character dialogue sucked. Because of that one reason I already gave you guys, which is, well, she's being written up as a 2010s version of a teenage girl or a teenage woman. I question my insanity sometimes. I really do. Because I don't want to read that stuff in comic books. I want to read superhero comic books. I want to read comic books with the multiverse in it. I want to read space comic books, not this comic book. Not the type of comic book that will be like, I don't like this comic book. Or, OMG, LOL. No. Fuck those comic books. I am not going to read any of those comic books. The ones that have like that, this like OMG, LOL, LMAO kind of BS. I'm not going to read comic books just because of that. I want to read comic books because the multiverse, space adventures, superheroes, and all of the above. There. I summed up my rant in a huge paragraphic sentence right there. Why I hate modern day comic books. Except for those that have superheroes, sci-fi, murder mystery, or the entire multiverse. That's what it should be on. That's what comic books should be doing. But no. Comic book writers don't want to do that shit. Because it's technically hard work for them. And for that reason, I'm going to give Amethyst 2, number 2, a 1 out of 10. It sucked. And I'm hoping that it gets canceled at issue 6. Back issue time. We have Green Lantern number 34 from October of 2008. AKA the first revealance of, the first arc of Atrocitus. Red Lantern, Atrocitus. I love it. I loved it. Like, holy hell. I loved it. Why? Jeff Johns. Ivan Reyes. The dynamic duo of Green Lantern. I loved it. This comic book was what made me a Green Lantern fan. Reading Jeff Johns' Green Lantern whole run, kind of, sort of, I have some issues missing over there, made me a Green Lantern fan. And I loved it. And basically, Atrocitus gets its ass kicked by Green Lantern Sinestro and Hal Jordan Green Lantern. Yeah, that's basically it. It's just a huge fight scene. And I love it. Green Lantern number 34, 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. The OMAC Project, number 2, 5, and 6. If you guys don't know what the OMAC Project is, it was a mini-series that was developed before Infinite Crisis. And I loved it. I loved reading those issues. It was a fantastic read. Reading those 3 issues, fantastic. It was a fantastic read, and I'm loving it. Even though it happened in like 2006, but you know what? Screw current comic books. Yeah, screw current comic books. These comic books do not compare to modern day comic books because modern day comic books suck. I'll repeat that. They suck. Reading them sucks. But reading the OMAC Project, oh my god, it was fantastic. It was an epic scale equal to no other. Except for one. Crisis on Infinite Earths. And for those 3 issues, I will give them each a 10 out of 10. The Fury of Firestorm, Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover. Number 41. Loved it. I loved reading that back issue. That back issue was, oh my god, it was so good. So fantastically written and drawn. Oh my god. Seriously, if you guys read a comic book from the 80s and put one compared to now, the comparisons are slightly off. AKA, the writers knew how to frickin' draw with pencil and paper and ink in the 80s versus now where they do it on digital. That's the reason why I don't like digital stuff. Anyways. They take the fun and creativity and make it seem easier. And I hate that. But reading The Fury of Firestorm number 1, oh my god, I was... It was like icing on the cake, like pepperoni on pizza, like meat lovers on pepperoni pizza. It was so good. It was so good that I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. And that, my dear viewers, is the comic book review I have today. Tune in next week where I will give you guys this week's comic books. Or maybe later on this week. Who knows? I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know. Stay tuned. Please like and subscribe. Comment down below. Now see you guys next time. Peace! Peace out!